Kia ora Year 10. This is a short video to go through how to change a decimal, and that should say or a fraction, into a percentage. So we're going to start by looking at a couple of examples that we can do without a calculator. For example, if I want to change 4/5 into a percentage, that means I want to write it as a fraction out of 100. There are lots of times where you can solve these problems by finding the equivalent fraction without a calculator. So what we ask here is 5 watts are 100, or 5 times 20, and 4 20s are 80, so that's 80%. So if you can do that confidently, that's brilliant, and that's a very good way to solve these problems. What we're doing when we do that is we're using the idea of equivalent fractions. So 4/5, I'm going to shade in now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if down here we draw this divided up into 100 little pieces, right, well there aren't actually 100 in here, but just pretend there are 100 in there. What we're asking is how many of those tiny pieces does that 4/5 correspond to? So each one of these pieces has got 20 in it. So if we've got 4 of them, that's 80. So that's one way to go. Now I'm going to show you how to do them using the calculator on the next slide. So here are 3 examples. We've got 42 out of 50. Right, so this is another one where really you'd be crazy to do this on your calculator. Right? Because if we want to say 42 out of 50 is something out of 100, 52s are 100, so if we do the same thing to the 42 and we get 84 out of 100, which is 84%. Right? Now with the next one, 17 out of 25 is going to be something out of 100, so 25 times what will give me 100? 25 times 4. So we'll do the same thing to the 17. 17 fours, 68. So that's 68%. Okay. And the last one, 109 out of 100. Well, if we divide the top and bottom by 10, we'll get 10.9 out of 100. Now that looks really strange because you know that when we do fractions, we try hard not to have decimals in them. But that works really well when we're trying to find a percentage. So we can write that now as 10.9%. Okay, so now we're going to look at how to do decimal conversion, so that's coming up next. Right, here we are. So decimals are very easy to turn into percentages. For example, 0.37 is the same as 0.737 times 100%. So just take your calculator if you need to, and you'll get 37%. So what you actually are typing in on your calculator is 0.37 times 100. Whoops, there we are there. The next one, 0.07 is equal to 0.07 times 100%, which is 7%. And the last one will give us 0.7 times 100%, which is 70%. Again, lots of you will be able to do these in your head. I just want to show people some strategies if you do find these very difficult. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 more to try now to check that you've got them. Right, so I want you to try converting these into percentages. And here's the third one. Right, so 8 out of 25 is fine. We can do that probably straight to an equivalent fraction by going 25 times 4 and 8 times 4. So that's 32 out of 100, which is 32%. The next one, 0.753, decimal to a percentage, so I multiply by 100 and I get 75.3%. Now, the third one, if I try to do this like this, now some of you will be fine with this, 30 watts equal 100, so we're going to have to go 100 over 30. And that's 10/3. So we can times 9 by that now, if you're following that. But there's another way that we can do that on the calculator, so I'm going to show you that on the next slide. So we've got 9 out of 30. If I put that in my calculator, I'll get to a decimal. And then I just times it by 100. Okay, so 9/30ths, and that will equal 30%. Right, now lots of you, hopefully, as I was doing that example, were sitting there wondering, why did she do that and why didn't she do this first? So here's 9/30ths. Look, that fraction's not in its simplest form, so I can divide numerator and denominator by 3, and I'll get 3/10. Okay, and once I get 3/10, it's really obvious that that's the same thing as 30%. So often there are lots of different strategies with these that will work. Okay, I hope that helped. You should be able to do exercise 4.01 in your homework book more easily now. Thanks for watching.